Oh, it's time now for our meditation. So, as you prepare, I invite you to settle comfortably into your seat. Take a couple of those nice deep cleansing breaths again. And release all concerns. Put them aside for now and close your outer eyes. An open heart and an open mind are the door that opens to love's presence. Love calls us from within. It is our essence. Every time we heal a judgmental thought, every time we heal a feeling of separation, it is felt by every mind and heart in the universe. That is the energy of our oneness. In your mind's eye, see your crown chakra begin to open, much as a funnel, to receive the inflow of divine white light. The white light that contains all colors, the energies of all of our divine faculties, and flows through us as a river of love, cleansing, releasing all that needs to be released. Now from the white light comes the pure pink light of love, settling into our heart space. The unified, harmonizing love infills us here, healing what needs to be healed. Call to mind your very most beloved person, pet, place. And with your inner eyes, look at the face of your beloved. Look into her or his eyes. Feel the love. Feel your heart expand, pulsating in the rhythm of love, filling your chest to overflowing with divine love. On your next exhale, send that love to your beloved. Feel that. Inhale, and again, feel the love in your heart. Rest in that feeling. Contemplate this truth. I am divine love expressing in the silence. In the silence. As you prepare to return to this time and place, take one more breath. Inhale that flow of love. And for this breath, let's put an intention behind it. As we exhale that breath of love, hold in your heart all of those people in the Midwest, knowing that they are enfolded in that love. And you make a difference. When you're ready, you can wiggle fingers and toes. Begin to bring yourself back to this place and open your eyes as you're ready. Wow. Wow. You have to be in this place to feel that energy that just enfolds us. So, you know how we often say the universe has a plan for us, and we kind of don't know what it is. Well, apparently the universe really has a plan for me. They want me to think about, learn about, talk about love. It started in January with my white stone. I did not get a word. I got an affirmation. I am a catalyst for good, for love. Well, I do think about that. I keep that stone next to my meditation chair so I can, anytime I turn my head that way, there's that stone. But the time that it gets me is when I feel out of alignment. You know, those knee-jerk reactions, anger, fear. My mouth engages before my brain does. And then I get a tick right here, right in the gut, the wisdom center that says, uh-oh, pay attention. You may recall that we studied the faculty of love in April. I talked about audacious love. And the one point that I really wanted to get across was how important it is that we love ourselves. We have to love ourselves before we can really reach out and love another. Well, today I want to look at love in broader strokes. At this time of Christmas, the season of brotherly love, I want to explore a little about how we can feel and direct our healing love to have a positive effect on the world. And I have to tell you, I think we've already done that today. I think we've done that with our opening prayer, and I think we've done it with our meditation. And now we're going to figure out how we can keep on doing it. So, and that is a large part of what Gary Zukav's book, Universal Human, Creating Authentic Power and the New Consciousness. That's a lot about what this book is about. He describes how we, as a global community, are shifting our perspective from a five senses being with a five sensory viewpoint to a multi-sensory viewpoint. The five senses being the traditional way of seeing the world from a material, see, feel, touch, out there perspective. And the multi-sensory, did you know, I Googled this, Did you know we've got more than five senses? Now, we can think of some, things like balance and proprioception and so forth. I found there are 33 listed, and there are more than that. We're not going through all those. So we are becoming multisensory beings, more self-aware, with an inner perspective of expanding senses and our place in the world. We see ourselves differently on how we fit in. So Zukov says, he talks a lot about authentic power, and that has a lot to do with being our authentic selves. Authentic power is the alignment of the personality with the soul, which means the alignment of the multisensory personality with the intention of its soul. The best way to approach harmony is experientially, that is, in terms of your emotions. And the realm of love, if love could be called a realm, also has multiple sub-realms, such as gratitude, appreciation, caring, contentment, and awe of the universe. And experiences of them are blissful. So Zukov goes on to a deeper discussion of harmony, but for our purposes, I want to focus on sending out love with intention. I recently read science. Science is telling us not only do we kind of know this spiritually, but in our physical world, we have evidence of light emitting from us. So I recently read about a study. This was done in 1997 by Pure and Bear, and it was called Visible Light Radiated from the Heart with Heart Rhythm Meditation. This was an interesting study for a couple of reasons. The subject was an experienced meditator using several different formal practices. This guy was an instructor, had years of practice with it. And the process is, he had to sit upright in a chair in a dark, air-conditioned room, 3 feet from a photomultiplier tube, the little measuring device, set to read light emitted from his chest, naked. And he only had a black blanket for warmth. They had to eliminate any factors that might emit light, and he had to sit there long enough for everything to get stabilized, so they got a baseline. And he didn't meditate for just half hour, an hour. That poor person meditated for hours, 10 in a stretch. The results were not very satisfactory to the meditator. The background light emitted, that baseline that they came to from his resting body, was 20 photons per second. Not very much. During the experiment, as he concentrated on his meditation practices, there were brief erratic measurements of 37,000 to 45,000 photons per second. Not enough to reach the visible spectrum. Not what they were hoping for. Well, frustrated, the meditator left the chamber and retired to the experimenter's home for dinner. In the meantime, while all this was going on, the experimenter's 4-year-old son had come down with a severe cold. The child was really sick. So the meditator, being discouraged with his day's effort, he goes off, retreats to his room, and he sleeps. Early in the morning, he awoke with an intense insight. The young boy needed light for his healing. So by 8 in the morning, they were back in the lab. The experiment was going again. And after an hour in the dark chamber, background count came back to its baseline of 20 photons. Then the meditator did what we do so often here. He did a healing meditation in which he mentally placed the sick boy in front of himself and sent light to the boy on the exhalation coming from his heart, a technique of heart rhythm meditation. The difference is the meditator only needed emotional energy. He didn't need that concentrated mental energy from the day before. The emotional energy was so much easier, so much less effort on his part. The computer measured 100,000 photons per second consistently for a half hour until the meditation was stopped. And this would be enough light to barely be visible. So success. We can measure the light that our bodies emit with intentional meditation, sending love. Conclusion. Light generation was eventually achieved by the combination of effective meditation technique and the intention of sending light to a specific patient in need of healing. Well, we have all heard the stories about the healing energy of prayer. There have also been instances documented where a group of people trained in feeling as if, that is, going into meditation, going to that quiet, still place, and feeling the peace, feeling the love, that they appear to have influenced crime rates in huge cities. And the ones that I can think of specifically are D.C. and I think Chicago. They did this experiment. And also in the Middle East, there was a decrease in the amount of terrorism that was occurring as these groups did their peace meditation. So, it appears, just as Jesus said, when two or more are gathered with focused intention, in my name, that is, in the nature of love, it makes a difference. Greg Braden says, and this blew me away, Greg Braden says, the formula to effect change is the square root of 1% of a given population. For a city of 1 million people, that's 100 people to make a difference. I think that's amazing. And I loved our opening video today. I don't plan this. The universe kind of works the details out. But I loved the opening video with the children holding their candles, glowing from their heart space. And that was such a beautiful metaphor for what I wanted to focus on today. And then in our meditation, if you recall, just a moment, go back to that heart energy. Just feel it. And all you have to do is close your eyes and take a breath, and you can feel it again. And can you just see what our light, our combined light, must be in this community? And it doesn't stop here because it's non-local. Energy is. I'm going to share one experience with you too. This really brings it home for me. I participate in a master consciousness group that meets by Zoom once a month. And what we do in this group, and it's anywhere from 6 to 10 people, we follow a mastermind process that many of us are familiar with. And at the point at which we put out our prayer request, our intention. And the way we do it is using the 12 powers to claim it. I claim life and well-being. And then the group becomes silent and sends that energy. And I am always blown away because it actually I feel the energy sweeping over me. I mean, it's a physical sensation, and it amazes me. So, to more practical things, it is Christmas time, and it's time to focus on raising our awareness of Christ consciousness and looking for ways that we can be the highest expression of our true self. Well, I needed a little help to get this talk going because inspiration just was not happening. So I was visiting with my daughter and my former brother-in-law, and I said, John, you got any inspiration for me here? I'm just not getting it. He thought about it, and he came back in a little while, and he said, Viv, watch the end of the movie, The Bishop's Wife, and you'll get it. I did. Do any of you, are you familiar with this? It's one of those Christmas movies, one of those feel-good Christmas movies from 1947. Yeah. Oh, but it had Cary Grant. He was the angel. David Niven was the bishop, and Loretta Young, she was the bishop's wife. So an angel has been sent to help the bishop gain clarity about his true calling. He's kind of gotten caught up in his ego stuff. He's really focused on getting the funds in to build a great big new cathedral and how that's going to reflect on him. And he has lost why he went into ministry and the love that he felt. So the angel's going to get him straightened out. Meantime, the angel becomes infatuated with the bishop's wife. And he's pulled a little astray himself. Of course, in the end, we know that all comes right. And this is how the story ended. The bishop is standing strong behind his lectern, and he's reading his Christmas sermon, which was kind of written on the slide by the angel. And it's the story of the empty stocking. Once upon a midnight clear, there was a child's cry. A blazing star hung over a stable, and wise men came with birthday gifts. We haven't forgotten that night down through the centuries. We celebrate it with stars on Christmas trees, with the sound of bells, and with gifts, but especially with gifts. You give me a book, I give you a tie. Aunt Martha has always wanted an orange squeezer, and Uncle Henry can do with a new pipe. We forget nobody. But as for the child, all the stockings are filled, all that is, except for one. And we've forgotten to hang it up. A stocking for a child born in a manger. It's his birthday we're celebrating. Don't let us ever forget that. Let us ask ourselves what he would wish for most, and then let each of us put in his share of loving kindness, warm hugs, and a stretched out hand of tolerance. All the shining gifts make peace on earth. I love how that ended, as all those Christmas stories do. So let us ask ourselves, what would he wish for most? And here's a list of gifts that help us raise Christ consciousness. Gratitude. Count our blessings and let our friends and families know how much we appreciate them. Listen. Love is listening deeply to others. Share happy memories. Give second chances with an open heart. Friendship. Be a friend. Give understanding. And respect. Respect the other's choice without judgment. Sincerity. Be your authentic self. Humor. Lighten up. Share some fun time. And generosity. Share your time, your talents, your treasures as appropriate. Share your best self. The greatest and most memorable gift you can ever give is the gift of yourself. As if that weren't enough, in closing, I'd like to share Reverend Teresa Burton's message from A Christmas to Remember, our Advent booklet. She's reminiscing about her favorite Christmas movies. These tender scenes show us something important about ourselves. We have in common the love that elevates us beyond personality and self-centered concern, allowing us to be the vessels through which divine love expresses. To see someone through the eyes of love, to finally see ourselves that way, is truly a Christmas miracle. Thank you. Your turn.
So much. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I'm so grateful for you. This is the time in our service when we get to give from our good back into the community. So we gather our tithes and offerings in our hand, and we bless them. And those of you that are watching at a later time, if you punch that PayPal button or the Breeze link, we'll be so very grateful. Let's say it together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, that this is so.